All right, welcome back to the Back and Body Hurts Rave podcast, where we talk about all things EDM related. I'm your host, Benny, and to my right, we have Christine.
Hi.
To my left, we have Sonny.
Hey, everyone.
And to his left, we have Ikern.
Hey.
So this week, we're actually going to talk about the booth booking process and some of the new venues in Toronto. We did get a couple of new ones this year. Yeah.
Which some of us have been to, some of you guys have been to, but we just thought we'd give like an overview.
Yeah. Like a sort of a review kind of thing. Yeah.
Sort of a review, our takes on it, what we've heard in the community from like Toronto rave community on feedback, especially some of the newer ones. So just transitioning both the booth booking. There, that's the word.
Yeah.
Booth booking into a new venue, because some of them all do offer new, allow you to book booths.
So it's sort of like a quarterly review of the venues.
At least where we're at
Fiscal
in Toronto.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. So for a lot of people, booking booths it's sort of a new thing, especially if you go to raves by yourself. You really got to get a big group to really make it worth it.
Unless you have all money.
Yeah, unless you have money.
Like, no pooling required. It's your booth.
It's your booth.
So yeah, we're gonna share with you some valuable resources or information on the process, and then we're gonna discuss some of the best booths to book at each venue. So the ticketing information, and we're also gonna discuss the procedure and how to get the most out of booth experience.
We're going to use one of our venues as a reference. So the Department, I recently been to Department as their opening event. It's actually not that bad. Watch our our Instagram reel on our review on that. It has been drastically improved, but there's still some more points to improve on Department. So using that list, we can also book booths at these certain venues, which is Coda, Nomad, Grand Bazaar, Soluna, Forbidden City, History, Rebel, Department, as we mentioned, and Bardem. So
yeah, using Department was good too, just because we reached out to them and they sent us all this info, which was very valuable. Although many people probably know Department as formerly Toy Box, but they revamped, which we talk about in our reel, what changed. But they're reaching out to them for the book. I'm going to have a hard time saying this, aren't I? It's like a tongue twister for me. The booth booking process. They have all new templates based on new design to promote Department. So it's like very clean and it's very new. And obviously it's like revision 1.0, right?
Well, I mean, it used to be Union.
I know, but someone's going over with the fine tooth to make sure it has no reference to Union or Toy Box.
Was this something before Union?
Probably. Yes.
Probably. That venue's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, every venue in Toronto has been around for a while until they demolish it. So like
for her condo.
Yeah, for a condo. So
take what we can get, right?
Yeah, take what we can get. Some of these venues, they actually ask for which event that you're booking for. Some are kind of free for all. They need to go through a form. But some venues like Department, they send you a great deal of info that you can actually just right off the get-go talk to the main person directly to book, right? So we can start talking about the process.
So the process is firstly you got to email the venue, or if you know the promoters, you message the promoters. You say, "Oh, I'm interested in booking a booth."
Most venues will probably have something if you just go to their website. If you don't know, like if you've never booked a booth before, just go to the website. They'll probably have some inquiry, and then they'll guide you to the right person. Either they'll do it, or even you'll be guided to a promoter who will handle the operations for you.
So typically, Inc. events have lots of promoters. Inc. events usually covers Cabana, Rebel, and
Department.
Now Department, yeah.
Is there
formerly known Toy Box? I don't think so.
There's probably restaurants, but that falls under another category.
So after you reach out to them, they'll send you a list of what's available. So if you're booking a booth for a hot show like Armin van Buuren, you pretty much gotta message them the day of release.
Yeah, day of release tickets. Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say it's not always guaranteed that you will get a booth. So
Yeah.
just for anyone booking, if it's a hot event like that, a lot of these clubs do have their regulars
Yes.
where you fall on another list. So if you, once again, they're gonna make money off booth if they know you're always gonna. If you're a regular, like you become a regular, you're always buying a booth. You're gonna be on their list so that if you reach out to them first, you're gonna get on the priority list. That's just like anything, you get priority status. So just note, but yeah, the first thing you can do is email it right away or reach out right away.
I find that, well, I've heard that if for Inc. events, you should reach the promoters first. Because when you start emailing them, they get so many emails, and I think you just get backlogged, and then it just they don't reply to fast enough.
You can find the prominent ones on like TRC, like Toronto Rave Community, because they're like constantly posting.
Yeah, they're always posting. Oh, selling Rebel tickets, and then
VIP bottle service.
Yeah, they always label themselves as their promoters of
Official
these events. Yeah.
Actually, if you know the promoters, you can even for some. I know Rebel Noir. You can get a guest list for that. You can get a guest list for most of things. I'm not sure if the department if they're doing guest lists for that yet. I'm not sure.
Probably depends on the event. Like if it's, I think they're still doing their Saturday like EDM, but like not like all room ones. You can probably get on guest list for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're going to a lot of EDM shows, you start talking to people, and then the more connections you have, the more benefits you get. Quote unquote.
Ask your friends too.
Yeah.
If you're unsure and you know others who rave, just ask them if they booked a, like, obviously we're giving you the info here, but some of your friends have probably done it too, and they're probably a great resource saying, hey, reach out to this promoter.
Yeah. And I remember some of the events that we didn't even get enough tickets for big ones, and after seeing the ticket release, and it was already in tier 5, and each one of us were messaging the group saying, yo, booth. Just straight up, like you don't even try to like buy tier 5 tickets. Sometimes it's not even worth it, because like certain events give you tier 1 pricing if you book booths. One good thing about booth is that you are able to sit down, and it's one of the key things
for opening close sets.
Yeah, opening and close sets.
Like last night.
Yeah.
That was the main purpose. It was just like we bought it into a booth, and then but most people just wanted a place to sit in case they needed to sit. It's a long set.
Yeah. Well, last night was Cosmic Gate as of this
open
day
to close.
As of the day of recording, last night, April 20th, was Cosmic Gate, open to close. It's
6 hour set.
Yeah, 6 hour set. It's their annual thing.
They love us.
In terms of the cost, so there is usually a minimum spend depending on which table you pick. So for department, say if you pick the table in the back, the minimum spend for that is 1,000. And then the booths behind the DJ is 2,500.
And each venue will be different, as like they'll when you reach out to the venue or the promoter, they'll send you like a PDF or a screenshot saying, hey, here's what's available. So obviously we're giving it for department, but just note each venue will have something very similar.
Some says minimum spend, and some says minimum bottles. Yeah. So it depends on what kind you get. There are different values in the bottles. So the higher tasting costs, like Aziz Azul tequila, is like probably
I think
$700.
I think Coda is bottles, right?
Yeah,
Minimum bottles.
I think so.
Yeah.
They also have a minimum spend. The minimum spend for minimum bottles or something like that. I'm not too sure.
It's almost the same.
Yeah, it's almost the same.
Yeah. In terms of tickets for the events, so usually when you buy or book a booth, they give you 10. I think it depends on the events.
What kind of comp set? You have to ask the specific question. There are like 3 types, right? So they have tier 1 tickets, or actual guest list line, or free tickets.
So comp stands for complimentary. Usually for those events, they won't give complimentary tickets. They'll give you 10 tier 1 tickets.
Yeah.
I got a question about that. So what about for a show like Sarah Laundry that happened at Coda?
I think it's the same.
Did they give comp tickets?
So
for
it's
that?
just added onto the total.
So
spend.
it's no comp tickets. So for Coda, you get 0 comp tickets. You just get the booth, and they give you a link on TicketWeb to buy 10 tier 1 tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's like locked. The moment you have a
Yeah.
booth, you have
Yeah,
access
you
to
have
that.
access
Okay,
to
okay.
that. So the thing with that is with Green Velvet. So we booked a booth for Green Velvet for Ukraine's birthday, and none of us, only I got tickets, and
I got tickets too.
yeah.
But yeah.
Just a few, right?
Yeah. It's just a few. Yeah. But we ended up getting like what 10, 12 tickets.
10 tickets.
10 tickets. Yeah.
We got because we couldn't get any tickets. So it was like $100 on resale, and if you think about it, if you have to buy 10 tickets on resale, it's already about $1,000.
Yeah.
So if you book the booth and get 10 tier 1 tickets,
Which is like
Like
$40.
yeah, $40
Yeah.
each, $50 each. That's like
It came up to like
$500.
43 and
So
some change.
so overall you're spending like
A lot less.
Yeah, a lot. Well, you get
How
more
much was
value
per person
How much per person?
when you got the booth with the ticket?
Well, it
Well,
depends
100
on
something?
it depends on how you structure your split.
Yeah.
So how did you structure?
If you split it evenly around like 10 people, you usually get like around
150
150 bucks.
150
but you got
bucks.
the alcohol too.
Yeah, I mean like
Yeah,
in
so
total.
it's worth
in-
it.
Yeah,
in
it's
total,
worth it
yeah.
because you do
yeah,
get the
you
alcohol.
like the few
Yeah.
drinks.
You get to sit down.
Yeah.
This is
and,
the strategy, right? Involved in booking
Yeah.
booths.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, what are people willing to, if you're going to do a split, which is one of the options, what are people willing to spend? Usually it's nice when one person pays for it all, but
Yeah.
that's not our reality because, you know, money is tight for everyone, especially if
Pay
you
for it
rave,
all?
especially if you
Yeah.
rave.
Especially when you rave, yeah. And when you start going to one, and then you say I go, you go, and then next thing you know, you're going to 3, 4.
And then you're
events.
training for EDC saying
then
2 events a
one,
night.
Like
Yeah.
bottle service.
Just gotta learn how to say no. But anyway.
Training for EDC bottle service.
Oh, God.
So I guess how to make the best out of it, which we were talking about, like
Yeah.
$100 a ticket, or you get a booth and you get 10 tier 1 tickets. I think that's a little bit more worth it. But we do this thing where
You're
when we go
saying
to-
you're saying like all of us have friends.
So we actually do these things where for the guys in the group will literally pay for the whole booth,
Yeah.
and then we just comp the girls. That's what we
Yeah.
usually do.
I never got this luxury with these people, but so with my other friends, when we do like pool parties in like maybe Vegas or like somewhere like Miami, it'd be like guys double and then girls half price.
Yeah.
So it's like $75 US, and the guys is like $150.
Yeah, that's
That's also a pretty good strategy.
and
too.
that's just Vegas in general, where
It's
even if you buy tickets to any events, there's guy pricing and girl pricing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, this is like internal.
Internal too?
Yeah, this
Oh
was
my
internal,
god!
so-
I mean, you guys are just
Well, it depends-
leeching off the Vegas structure. It's just like,
You can ask Brandon because we've done that together before.
It also depends how long you've known someone too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you've known someone for like a couple, I don't know.
I mean,
it depends
either,
how
way,
comfortable
either
you-
way, like when you go to a lot of EDM events and you start making friends, the more connections you have, the more people you talk to. Just be careful and like kind of be vigilant on how you talk to people, make connections, and then just see like if you want to join booth and just giving you all this information, just making you have a little bit more self-aware of like why is it going behind the scene, and not just like somebody says
Let me
just
pitch
email transfer me like $300, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's also like once you start meeting more people, when you do booths and you meet people, I guess don't be stingy on giving people drinks,
Yeah.
because you never know. Maybe one day they'll have a booth and you'll bump into them, and then you can join their booth too.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how you make the most out of it as well, because it is a tool to make friends
But
and to
yeah.
expand your community and your network.
But it has to be agreed upon the people who are pitching. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that you have to
We
agree
need some
upon.
guidelines.
Yeah.
Just one thing about the booth too, it is also something like when we had one last night. You know how many times we try to talk to each other at raves and you can't hear anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What?
the one thing at a booth is that it actually gives you an opportunity to talk to your friends at a rave.
Yeah.
Which is even at a place like Coda, where technically the boots are like ingrained in the sound system. The way the boots are, they does give you a social opportunity away from the dance floor.
Yeah.
Compared to the other ones.
Because
So
when you're definitely in the dance, when you're in the dance floor, there's no like you're not talking to anybody. It's
The,
really
cen-
hard.
yeah.
the center part
Loud.
of Coda is
Yeah.
where the loudest and the clearest sound is. But then when you go to the side of the booth, that's why booths are on the sides, right? So when you go on the side of the booth and you start sitting down there, you can start talking a lot more clearly. You can start having proper conversations.
And pretty much all the venues we listed off, Nomad, even History in them, they all have booths off to the side.
Yeah.
Grand Bazaar, Saluna, Rebel 2, that's what we
Yeah.
just mentioned. All of them are strategically placed around the side for that reason.
It also provides clearer view, and like some of them are more elevated on the ground. So if you have the money, spend it. I don't know, just kidding.
Do you guys have any other experiences with booking this process of booking booths?
Well, I guess one question is just in the general process is when you book a booth and say you commit, you have people, do you have a server that's for your table at many of these venues?
If you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if you know, like if you make the connection or like, because there's specific like bussers sometimes
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you know.
Some they give you their number so that they you are getting that server to their booth, because like if you tip well, they want to provide you the best service,
Mhm.
right? I know for non EDM scene like AM PM, you can actually message your server,
Your girly.
to be your server on the booth. I'm not too sure about the other EDM scenes yet. So I don't booked. Well, usually when you go so much, you don't even book booths. You just stand there, right? But the more people you have, and it's a good event, and you want to socialize with crew, join. It's a different experience. And the good thing about booths is that if you don't really like the booth experience, you can actually just go into the crowd and dance.
Yeah, that's true
Right.
too. It gives you that's what we
It
ended
gives
up
you the
doing last
freedom.
night too.
Yeah, it gives you the freedom to do it. And then if you want, whenever you want to rest, you can always go back to your booth and rest. Drink water. They provide you water. They provide you ice to cool your body down. A lot of great benefits.
Yeah, I asked the question, but I think from what I've seen also, I think most of the venues are the same, where you have someone always coming around making sure your chasers are topped off,
Yeah,
making sure you have everything.
and your cups are cleaned.
Yes, and you have fresh cups, fresh shot glasses.
Mhm.
And eventually at a certain point, I think they stop, but I think that's depend on last call.
Yeah.
And when you can stop ordering bottles or boots.
At really full events like what we had like Gareth Emery recently, there's like a lot more security, right? Like
Yeah.
or bouncers that are responsible of kicking out random people in your booth. So
Mhm.
I think there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some events they have security. If you want to kick some people off, you actually have to tell them who to kick off, because they do not know.
They're
Yeah, I think
they're
it's just-
pointing.
Yeah, I think it's too much sometimes. Like especially like if you look at Rebel, those top booths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just have so many people. Like I even think they're like, oh, maximum of 20. There's more than 20 people in those
Yeah,
booths
For
sometimes.
sure, for sure.
And like
Yeah.
we'll even admit, like we've all been in those booths too,
Yes.
just kind of lingering around, just with like someone we know in that booth. We may not have been part of that booth. This is what we talk about, where certain deeds go a long way, right?
Yeah.
Where you get invited into booths
Yeah.
over time.
Eventually, you'll know the whole.
Yeah. Actually, it's become like that. I go to an event like at
Yeah.
Rebel or something. I'm like, let's see who I know in the booth. Oh, there you are. Hey, what's up?
We just want to say hi, yeah. And the other thing about like upstairs Rebel booth is behind the booths is like an open space where you can actually walk and dance, right? So some people they don't know. It may be a good spot for you to actually have like space for you to dance.
Are you
Because,
talking
like,
about upstairs?
Upstairs, yeah. Like sold out shows for Armin van Buuren, Gareth Emery, day one, right? It was so packed to the point in downstairs dance floor, you literally cannot move from your spot, right? Even if you try to punch in, it's still difficult, right? Plur punch.
And you mentioned that. You know where's a good spot where I know we've stand is
Yeah.
right when you walk into the VIP area, that ramp right
Yeah.
around the corner
Yeah,
where that
exactly.
one booth is. Because there's a bar there.
Yeah, there's a bar there.
There's
yeah.
a bar there you can actually go.
Quickly
So if you
access.
Yeah.
if you're not even a booth person, you can just go to the bar and just quickly
Yeah.
grab a drink.
And also there's a TV on top of that bar, so you can actually still watch the rave if you want to. There are different types of layouts on different places. Like for history, if it is a good show, you don't actually get access to the top level if you don't have a booth. Like they give you special wristbands.
Are they all booths? Sometimes they have those little like couple tables, right? Is it at every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
event?
Yeah,
No.
like you have seating up there too.
Yeah, you're
So
sitting up there for history.
So it's a booth.
it's like a premium VIP box is what they
Yeah.
call it.
It's so weird.
Yeah, so sometimes they show up on ticketing too, right?
Yeah.
There's mezzanines and also
Mezzanine.
floor.
I wanna mention for Cabana. So even if you get a booth, you don't really get access to the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
you
I
gotta pay
find is-
separate. You
You
gotta
gotta
pay
get
separate.
a VIP.
You gotta get a
booth.
VIP.
Yeah.
You pay
booth.
$20.
VIP cabana. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
a special wristband to get into the booth, unless you're a girl.
Honestly, if you want that, one time I went to the cabana pool experience, then that's fine. But like, do you really want to be in dirty water? Like, think about it, guys.
But the other thing about cabana pools is that when you go on the other side of the DJ decks, you hardly can hear the music with earplugs in. So it depends on what you want, right? If you're
yeah, it
going
really
there
depends.
to socialize, then
You're
yeah,
really there to socialize.
you're
yeah.
just really there to socialize. If you're there to like dance, then you are better off.
You're just literally right in front of the DJ booth.
Yeah,
and you
at
don't.
cabana.
Yeah. For me, like I treat cabana like a social event.
It's a
I
social
really
event.
don't like.
Yeah.
We've
And the
seen
fries.
and the fries. Get the fries, guys. It's
The
Life-changing.
garlic parmesan.
it is
fries.
life changing.
I only went once last year because some friends were Sabai and Huang were visiting, and then like there was a booth, and I was like, okay, I'll show up, but that was about it. Like I do not go to cabana.
Yeah.
And we talk about making friends over time, so you can get into booths. Make friends with fries, and then you'll get into more
Is
booths.
this
That's-
Costco
that's his pickup
fries?
line.
No,
That's his pickup line.
The cabana fries.
Is it
Cabana
the
fries.
They're the Costco.
I
they
don't know
buy-
what it
No,
is.
I don't think
It's
it
the
was
breaded
Costco.
fries, right?
Okay, we're not gonna reveal what type of fries they are. Just need to get the cabana fries
Mhm, yeah.
with
That's how-
parmesan.
You
That's-
just gotta
that's-
go there and they say Sonny sent
Yeah.
them.
This is Sonny's recommendation. But yeah, that's kind of how I met Sonny actually.
I gave him a fry.
Me too, actually. I met him at Armin.
I gave him a
Yeah.
fry.
I've never heard of these stories before.
Yeah, actually, I met them there. I knew Tom. I think I knew Tommy that
Yeah,
time.
you knew Tommy at the time, yeah.
Nice.
Our mutual friend.
Shout out.
So you went to let's move on to our next topic. You went to department, yeah?
Yes, I did.
The booths in the middle, did they remove those?
Towards the entrance.
You mean the
In the
wall?
middle of the, it's literally in the where the pillars are.
Like, aren't they on the sides of the
So
wall?
they're all always on the sides.
Aren't they on the sides of the wall? Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
on
they're
the
all
sides
on
of the wall,
they're
but
on
there
the
used to
sides.
be some on the pillars, like right under the pillars. But since you-
So the layout of department is that when you enter, they have this little wall that separates between the exit to outside for smoking and then the entrance to inside. So once you go in, and then immediately on the front view is where the stairs to go down to your code check, and then the left side is where the VIP bar is for servers usually, for bottle service servers. And then to your right is where you start walking towards the rave dance floor on the main stage of department,
So did
formerly
much
known as
change?
Toy Box. Huh?
So did much change?
It's still the similar vibes, and they kind of change the flooring. So the rights once you start walking towards the dance floor, the left side is still the bar, and then it used to have by the pillars. And now I understand where you're talking about. The booth there still exists, but it's not big.
those booths are kind of gross.
Yeah, it is. Well, the
They
right
really
side,
are.
yeah, the right side is still elevated, and then now more booths are more elevated.
My
Yeah.
rule of thumb when it was Toy Box was if I'm not going unless there's a booth behind the DJ. Because
Yeah.
those are the
Those are good booths.
Yeah, those
I've
are
been
the
in those
better
booths.
ones
Yeah.
because you're not in the crowd. Like
Yeah.
the sound isn't like bad there. So
It's
Yeah.
not as grimy, yeah.
yeah.
So talking about department, overall like better improvement. The flooring they changed, it has better grip, and then the sound bleeds does not go down to the lower floor unless you are at the bar. The lower floor you can kind of hear the top, but then if you want to go to the second stage, the ritual stage, you totally cannot hear what's on top.
You were saying they have a second stage downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs.
Yeah. Usually there wasn't, right?
There was not, yeah. Usually the downstairs one is where the resting area is because it's better airflow.
Yeah.
You can feel that there are more ACs there, but like the air is still kind of stagnant.
Do they still have the stairs at the back to enter?
Yeah.
Oh, so they still have that?
They still have that. They still have that little gimmick where you can. If
Those
you wanna
stairs
go
are
back,
deadly.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you want to
they
go
are.
to the
They're
front of the
deadly.
stage, you can
They're
just
deadly.
go from downstairs and where the code check area and walk all the way there and then just go back up.
Well, that's where the bathrooms are.
So
still,
is there
right?
artwork and stuff, or it's just like a black box type of place now?
Yeah, it's more of a black box. It's more neon lights now.
Yeah, I saw that they kind of upgraded the production.
Yeah,
like a lot
small
of
neon
lasers.
lights, less artwork.
So yeah, if you want to see how it looks like, check out our reel on our Instagram. And yeah,
Promising venue for
Yeah.
what we've seen.
So I think the next event, that's one of the newest one. The next event is the Great Canadian Casino Theater. That's
Resort.
where, resort.
Yeah.
That's where they did the exhibition. So it's actually not fully open yet.
Its
They-
launch is like next week.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah. So it's not purely an EDM thing, and
No, it's not.
yeah, and it's big. It's a huge event. And you don't get service inside when there's crowded people, but the sound quality is spectacular. I
there
think it's one of
Wi-Fi?
probably the best.
There is Wi-Fi.
I think there's casino
but
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you probably have to have a hotel room. To
Well,
get
No,
that
actually, no.
connection.
I think it's open.
Wonky
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
No, it was open because I remember I connected.
Yeah.
And it worked?
It worked for a little bit.
Okay.
Like,
so
it
it's
actually
wonky
worked.
Wi-Fi.
I mean, the rule. Well, I went to 2 days exhibition in the Great Canadian. The first day, even though it's like kind of packed,
It's huge.
it's huge, right?
It's massive.
When I use my phone, I'm a tall guy. I'm like a 6 foot guy. So when I use my phone on my waist, when I was texting people, the message didn't go through. But then when I raise it up, it went through. But the day 2, I tried the same technique. It didn't work. So maybe get to higher ground. You probably get, if you get the balcony, go to the balcony and try to send your message.
Was
If
it
you
a
have a floor ticket, you can go all
Yeah.
the way to the top anyways.
Yeah.
So it was a different price for the balcony tickets.
Yeah, well, for day 2, because a lot more people went, right? They sell the balcony tickets as separate. But when you have floor tickets, you can go all.
Was it? Could you get an upgrade at the venue or no? You had to pre-buy.
Well,
I don't think so because
yeah.
it's sold out
Yeah,
technically.
yeah, and then you can
It's all through
unless,
ticket master too. So
unless you can kind of like trick it if you know the system.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go there and just bribe them.
Yeah.
well, no, we did something else,
don't
which we
condone
talked about
private.
last time.
Yeah.
We did the whole show your phone for
Yeah.
floor if you have balcony. But
Listen to the previous episode.
but yeah, we want to mention this venue. It's not as what you said. It's not an EDM venue. It's just it has potential to be probably one of the better
hub.
EDM
Very
venues in
venues,
Toronto
yeah.
for larger events. We're just, I guess the entire community. The reviews were excellent. Everyone, no one had really anything negative to say.
Besides the no reception, but
besides-
it kind
yeah,
of feels like a mini festival. When
It
you
could-
go into a festival, you typically don't really have service.
And
so,
Excisions was technically a mini festival. He
Yeah.
brought on a couple of the artists on the label. There was like 4 other artists.
yeah.
It could be a new Solaris.
It
could
would
be
work.
the new Solaris. Yeah.
It would work.
When was this one year? Was it Solaris? Was it Dash Berlin? Where was it?
They at one point they did Solaris at the
International?
it was either at the Metro Convention Center or the
No, I remember
Intercare.
it was Uptown. It was like International Center or something.
Oh, the one by the I know where, the one by the
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
it,
yeah.
at the International Center. Yeah, where it's like right by the airport.
Yeah, it like from pictures, the vibe felt like great Canadian casino resort, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So then, well, if any artists want to book there, I think it has to be a few big names that want to do it, like Mind Guards.
Yeah, it has to be like a combo.
Yeah.
Combo.
Armin Van Buren, or you essentially put a lineup
It
for
has
a
to
mini
be a
event,
festival, I think.
Yeah,
It's-
like a mini festival.
It's too big of a venue for it just to be a headliner. Maybe Martin Garrix, but even Martin Garrix, I don't know. Could be Martin Garrix.
Yeah.
Could. The only thing is that we don't know how the booking process works. As an Excision was a test event, and how Excision was announced was kind of weird too, where Excision had the dates locked, but it's just like venue TBD, right?
Yeah.
So I think he had the idea that this venue was available, but honestly, if it fell through, we wouldn't have.
Yeah,
gotten
we
it.
wouldn't
Didn't
have
Excision do it at the soccer field before too?
He did it once at the Coca-Cola Coliseum.
Oh, okay. That's
But
what that's
Now that we get no EDM events there,
Yeah.
so like there's a whole bunch of back end stuff we're not aware of.
Probably, Yeah, an agreement type of thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like maybe they just say no more EDM events, no more events like that.
Yeah.
But I also think that like Excision is big enough for him to just do that, because like even
Yeah.
though the facility doesn't have the right speakers for such event, like he will bring in his own.
That's his entire premise. He
Yeah.
wants to bring in his own equipment.
You know what's interesting? I wonder if we could get any EDM acts at BMO stage, BMO Field.
I just don't think the acoustics would be good. That's
Yeah, I
the
don't
problem.
think- yeah.
Because
They,
open.
they
like an
already
open
they
air.
have already speakers there, but I don't know.
Because my thing is, why not just go in the parking lot and set it up? It's the same thing.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's like Escapade.
Or you just
Yeah,
do it at
exactly like
Budweiser, right?
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like excavate. Yeah.
That'd be not bad, but they don't destroy the field. But
Yeah, because you.
But even at
Fred
Escapade,
again
yeah,
in Toronto.
like you can't even sit on the
Yeah.
seats. You have to be
Yeah.
in the.
You're
On
in
the field.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
speaking of like fields and whatnot, I mean the next one is Paramount Ice, which is like a hockey field, right, at Vaughan. So somewhere like outskirts, you have more room to do your production, but the sound bleed is kind of bad. Until like so the only event that was showed in Paramount Ice was Teletech. It was new, and then I think Comfort Zone actually took it under their wing, right?
so what it is Comfort Zone's a partner.
Yeah.
It's still a different booking agency from what I recall, but Comfort Zone's a partner. So now it's like they're like the EDM affiliate of that venue.
Oh,
Essentially, I think that's how it worked. I know when they Teletech booked, they didn't actually go through Comfort Zone. They went through the actual venue to like figure it out. Like the venue wanted to just
really?
try it, like try something different.
Yeah.
And to be honest, shout outs to Paramount Ice, shout out to the organizers for the Teletech. I think a lot of people had doubts for how it would be. Even us, including
us,
us, because just like this is seems very like
New.
very new.
more like put together. The event
We were also questioning like how Teletech would run in our city, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
it was a pretty big success. I'd say.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear any details about the shuttle service? How was that?
I'd never heard any complaints, and no complaints usually means it's good.
Okay.
I actually know some people that took the shuttle service, but so the thing with the shuttle service is you pretty much have to stay from the start to the end.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but they listed that at the beginning, so
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
can't complain about that.
you can't. It was not bad for the. I don't think
The
it was
way
bad
the
for
way
the
I look
price.
at it is that they offered it. Like for example, the Great Canadian Casino, where it was, it's even further than I think where
Yeah.
the,
Or even
like,
Markham Fairgrounds.
like that's what I mean,
Yeah.
and they never
Yeah,
offered
that-
it. So
that was
like
pretty good.
we've had festivals at Markham Fairgrounds, like mini festivals,
yeah,
and they
throw
never
everybody in a barn.
and they've never done it. So like for them to even offer it, I don't really think you can complain.
Yeah, no, you can't complain. I don't think so.
Like then just Uber.
Yeah.
Just Uber like you would have to, right?
Just Uber like you have to in any events anyway.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
So
Like
it's just like
going to Lost Lands.
or
Yeah,
leaving
the-
Rebel for I don't know, a arm and a leg.
Yeah. I mean like if they offered it's good, right? And it's probably cheaper than Uber. And
Yeah, for sure.
So like
Oh, it
take
was
if
for
you
a
can.
price?
Yeah, it was
for a
like what,
price.
$25
It was
or something.
It was dirt cheap.
Yeah,
It was really
Well,
cheap. Like
yeah.
I said, I don't think you can really complain about that service.
and then you can go in there and meet a bunch of people too.
Yeah.
That'd be,
Guaranteed to drive you to wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it'll come.
it's like the hype. It's like the EDC one where we talked about. It's like you're getting on the shuttle with everyone going to EDC, so you know everyone there on your bus, or like in this case, everyone on your bus is going for hard techno.
Yeah.
So it's like not even genre.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna talk to someone who's only wants to see Illenium at EDC,
Yeah.
and they don't know anyone else on the lineup. No, you're pretty sure you're going to see like Alignment and all the other artists there.
I find that like they did promote that they are using void sound system into Paramount Ice. When I first got in, I kind of miss LAK, but I went for less the last hour of less before Alignment came on, and the sound quality wasn't there.
Nah, it was not good.
Yeah,
I was
they
even
turned it
telling
down. They
Sonia,
turned it
like,
down.
They turned it down, but like when Alignment came up, like I mean, it was Alignment. I was partially hyped for Alignment, so like kind of play into that bias role of like liking what he played. But to be entirely honest, like I think
They needed
a
more.
few more speakers
Yeah.
would do.
Yeah.
Either like shorten the
It was all front facing too.
Yeah, it
that
was
was the
all
one
front,
that was.
yeah.
But I mean, I love the setup when Alignment came on and they turned it up. I know
That
we all
was
looked at
sick.
each other and
Yeah,
said like,
yeah,
yeah, that was good.
and then this guy went to Rebecca.
And then I went to
Yeah,
Rebecca.
yeah.
25 minutes.
I literally every 5. You're not leaving. I'm like, I had 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
I actually turned around and looked at these guys. We were just all having a great time.
Yeah, yeah.
It was pretty sick.
I think it's front facing is the problem, but like I think voice sound system is not meant for like front facing. I think you probably need a little bit bigger. Even though like a voice sound system that is in Nomad, right? When we went for Maddox sold out show, when we just entered the arena, we can't even hear anything.
Yeah,
even
it
though
was
like
bad.
even though my Maddox was already playing, until you actually push your way through into the middle to the front, and then you start hearing better qualities. So
Yeah, I remember at the last we went actually. I got there a little earlier. We actually went like really close to the front so that we could hear it better.
It like it doesn't go all the way to the back. It like fades away and then just it becomes distorted near the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like that, but that's like my view. Maybe a couple more speakers, but like,
I think the thing is you have to bring your own setup if you use that venue, which is one thing. So like, yes, Void was used, but maybe someone else uses another sound system. We don't know, like Funkaton one.
Or
something
maybe
like
just more of the voice sound system then would be better. But well, it is the first event, so we do not know.
I did like I thought the acoustics were a lot better than what I thought. And you know what's the best part of the venue? The temperature. Parking and the temperature. Well, I mean, for Great Canadian, the parking was also fantastic.
Nah, well, it was fantastic. But
think he
it
got
was
lost.
I got lost.
Okay, yeah, we got lost.
I got lost.
Day one was great, other than I parked in the rain and I walked in the rain. But like, if I parked there again, I would have been out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I should have done that the second time.
I think the good thing about the acoustic sounds, like, I agree with you. The acoustic sounds is a lot better in Paramount Ice. Well, it's also mainly
The temperature in Paramount Ice was
good.
good.
I like how I can go home after too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you it's
For
close.
once.
For you, it's
For
close.
once.
Yeah, it's closer. Yeah.
It's the first event, so we do not know what our next event is,
But promising, very promising.
very promising. Yeah, I like Paramount Ice just because it's free parking. It's a huge
Free parking is a win in my books because I
Yeah.
always have to drive too.
Yeah.
And then the temperature also a win.
Mm-hmm.
It was in an ice hockey rink, so the temperature came in clutch.
All right. So moving on to Grand Bazaar.
Me. I will talk
You
a
have the
little
most
bit-
experience, I think, on Grand Bazaar.
I talk a little bit about Grand Bazaar. I think I feel like I went once. This was probably
I think I've been to Grand Bazaar
2 summers ago, like 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our friend DJ Malik was playing there with some.
You went to the outdoor one, right? When it was outdoor?
It was during a night market
so
where they
set
handed
up,
out
yeah.
like lanterns and stuff. And then I think DC was playing as well. And then there was an inside, which was the actual venue. But
Was Euphoria there?
No, Euphoria was not. That was at Markham Fairgrounds.
No, Euphoria. No, the old the one they did like 4 years ago.
I don't think it was there. I think it was at like Nest.
No.
I don't think it was there.
There was like 3 stages.
Was it there? I know. We have to look. We'd have to check after that. We'll
I
check and
have
we'll
the
correct
poster
it. We'll
from
correct.
so long ago.
you guys could check yourselves.
There's pools outside, right?
Pools.
Pools?
Pools outside?
No.
There's some pools.
Outside,
But
right?
it's like it's not for swimming. It's just like a little pond.
Yeah.
So it might have been there.
There's 2. So
I'm
it,
surprised.
I think
you
they
don't remember.
I think they
I
renamed
remember.
it.
I went and it was like a mid-autumn lantern festival type of thing, and like some like local DJs, as we mentioned, were playing. A very odd venue. I don't know what to say about the venues inside the CNE. It's just kind of weird for me.
Yeah, like I went for Mystical, and the outdoor setup was not bad. One of the DJs even did a live stream, and it looked pretty good, just based on like. I mean, the sound is like they brought their own sound system, so sound was great. But I think lately they've been booking it inside, like on their inside one. And I've heard mixed reviews. This is where I haven't gone yet. I've heard mixed reviews because it was more booth focused. So like the layout didn't make much sense based on where you could stand.
Yeah, and then there was one time the Teletech was rumored to be on in Grand Bazaar,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of complained about it.
Everyone complained and got
Everyone,
it switched.
Got
Like
it
they're
switched, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like a nice scenery to be in the crowd for like the outside setup because it's kind of elevated, and behind it is like kind of the entrance to the inside venue, and it's like an older looking building, so there's some type of aesthetic. You might be feeling a bit like Europe or something, like where they're having a set, but I don't think it's enough space for like even like mid-sized DJs, like people with like a mid-sized following.
a lot of melodic
Yeah.
techno gets
Yeah,
booked
they
there
do
right
a
now.
lot of the melodic.
I think that's what they're
techno,
branding right now because I also once again it's booth focused. I think a lot of the melodic techno crowd might be a bit
Older,
bougie.
more comfortable with the income. Yeah. Yeah.
More comfortable.
So no dubstep shows there.
I don't think
Are
so.
you gonna see the
Most
first dubstep
bass heads
show?
are broke bitches like me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard recently it's gotten a little bit better. We're still waiting to see if how much they improve on. I know the sound has been good, and I'd heard they did fix a little bit of the booth issues, but there's also been complaints about security, just in general. So we'll wait and see how that one does. But
Yeah, the little entrance is a little like weird. It's
Yeah.
like this little tunnel area, and then like I think I remember that event, like the security didn't look too experienced. So yeah.
yeah, it's also sometimes with security, especially it's all training, right? Because
And they're outsourced. So
because
it's,
if it's like a place like Saluna, example, you're expecting like a
Yeah.
high end clientele, like
Yeah.
in terms of you have to be dressed up. So if Saluna all of a sudden hosts a dubstep show, and I got all these people showing up in dubstep gear,
Yeah.
if security's not trained,
Yeah.
security's gonna be like, you can't wear that.
Yeah.
It'd be like, what? And I know that happened at Grand Bazaar because I had a friend get denied because he was wearing an Anjuna shirt, but they were hosting an Anjuna event, and he wasn't allowed
so
in.
how was that? How did he didn't get in?
He didn't get in.
Oh.
He had to like change. Yeah, luckily, I think he had to
Really?
change his shirt in his car, so he just changed it to like a black shirt, and he got in.
I
But they
still
wouldn't let
would've
him
snuck
in
the
with
shirt
like a logo. It was so weird.
Would have snuck the shirt in.
So, there's another new one. So you guys were telling me how the Gary Warehouse was like a really bad, and you guys did not enjoy it. So there's this new one. It's called
Wait, so Gary Warehouse is east of Dufferin, right? And the new one is west of Dufferin?
Essentially, that's essentially it. It's
Okay.
like on the ones like whatever street that is,
Yeah.
and then
One
the
side.
the other ones. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
It's like one's there, one's there.
Yeah, so this one is called the actual name of the warehouse is called Body Shop Studio. It's 302 Gary Street. And I don't know, I quite liked it. It was it wasn't so busy, and the music was good. Everyone was really friendly.
Is it local event you went to, or it was like a foreign DJ?
It was foreign. I think they're from Montreal. Or
That's not foreign.
well, it's not
He's an international DJ though. I know he tours. I know he tours.
okay,
Vortex
okay.
tours.
Vortex.
Yeah.
It was Vortex, Pro Seeks, and a bunch of other people.
Hard techno?
It was hard techno,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But like, it's not like a hard techno. It's a different genre. It's not exactly hard techno.
Medium techno.
yeah.
Yeah, the hard techno genre kind of like hard groove. It's probably like hard groove-ish style more, right?
Yeah, it was really. I enjoyed that venue.
Is it because they gave you free water bottles too?
That was a big bonus.
Yeah.
I actually have a funny story about Vortex in general. So I was in Kitchener with my dad, and we were
Right.
just driving around, and I had my Spotify connected to. My dad likes EDM. For those that don't know,
That's how he discovered it.
That's
Go
how I
listen
discovered.
back.
He loves Armin. He loves his Boris. So I actually sent him the Boris album that released on Friday.
Boris Bridger?
Yeah, I
Wow.
really, and then he actually listened to it. But then I was playing just my Spotify, and I always do the new releases on Friday, and the Vortex song came up, his recent one that just released.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then he was listening. He's like, "Oh, what's the song?" Okay, he pulled out his phone, and
Does he have Shazam?
no, he actually added it to his phone, his playlist, because he liked this. He liked it how it sounded. I'm like, okay.
Respect.
As I said, with my dad, it's always funny because I know he likes certain things, but I just don't know what to share with him sometimes. Other than like, it's like, wait, do you like hard techno now? What is this? Like, what else do I share?
It was so funny too. I was trying to convince Kasani was over one day, and I was like, "Oh, Vortex is coming. You should come." And then I just started playing Vortex. Like, okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of those. We mentioned it before. It's one of those things. I'll play like 5 minutes of the song.
Yeah.
Or like you'll play like one. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm buying my ticket. But I didn't. I forget where I went. I went somewhere else.
I don't know what you.
There was something else that happened
Yeah,
that night.
that's something else. Yeah, you were with me.
Yes,
think,
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good warehouse. I would go back.
But they're not. They haven't
Pretty
booked
small.
they haven't booked anything else yet, have they? It's just smaller events.
Just not hard techno. They definitely booked like other events, but not another hard techno one that I've seen that I would like to go to. But yeah,
Well,
Just
we'll
for
keep- we'll
everyone,
keep an eye
just
out.
for everyone
Yeah.
to know, like hard techno is his domain. He gotten us all into hard techno, but that's his
converted
domain.
all
Yeah.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite type of techno.
But typically, like warehouses are good, usually good.
Usually good.
Usually good, yeah. So if you have favorite artists that plays in a warehouse, try to go for it. The acoustic sounds are usually better. Even the toilet situations are bad, but let's be frank, toilet situations in Toronto is just bad.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. So just be well care of your own hygiene and do your own routine in the bathroom, and you should be fine. So Forbidden City.
Christine's favorite, right?
Yeah.
Watch the video. I'm sorry.
You see
I'm
the motion
sorry.
she gave.
My I have
down.
friends that play there. Like a lot of friends support the venue. I just really don't like the layout. And they used to at the beginning. It's a good thing they changed it, but at the beginning they had tile floors. I think I also have trauma from there was this venue that Virtual Riot was playing at an after party last year for Escapade, and it was a similar looking venue, and it looked like a banquet hall that got like just revamped into like an EDM venue.
Barrymore's?
Sorry?
Was this Escapade?
Yeah.
Barrymore's? Is this Barrymore's?
I have no
I
idea.
don't think it was Barrymore's. It's just the thing about what during Escapade weekend is like they just choose like there's like 2 staple venues that they have, and then like just 2 random ones just pop up.
Yes. And like just off the side topic, that venue, you walk into their hallway to go into the washroom and the floors were wet, and it's because it was so hot that hallway was steaming. So then it gave me that vibe.
Now I know they went under renovation. I think last year, didn't they have? I know Inquisitive in July last year.
Yeah, what I just said was not Forbidden City. I just said it gave out that vibe. So then I just have a little trauma. But yeah, they went. I think you guys went to Creed's, and that's when it changed, right? Was it?
No, Creed's was at
Comfort
Comfort Zone.
Zone.
I know.
No, Creed's this year.
Yeah.
Comfort Zone.
Oh.
Comfort
That was
Zone.
Comfort Zone.
That
But
was Nico you might be thinking about.
Nico?
Nico was at Comfort Zone as well and was steaming hot.
No. I'm talking about when they changed up the floors at Forbidden City.
Just Dreaming? That's the only
No,
one.
that was
No.
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
That was
Oh.
Giuseppe.
No.
So
Okay,
that's where I'm alluding to is
Yeah.
like they opened up for that Giuseppe show, but apparently they did Inquisitive in July last year, and I heard like the floor was like carpet or something like that. It was like
Yes.
something. Is
Yes.
that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That the floor was carpet, and then literally you had no like all the heat. Literally,
It was
like,
trapped
was
inside.
trapped there.
Yeah.
So like
And
it
then
was.
they removed it.
Yeah, so they did go renos, and I think for Giuseppe they opened. I'll be honest, every time I've gone to Forbidden City, I have not had a bad experience. The only thing I will complain about Forbidden City is the pricing. Their drink prices are
It's
on
just not a venue of choice because I feel like there's a lack of production. That like there is just like one screen, and then like their booths on like the main floor, because there's an elevated area that looks like a balcony, but it's like not too elevated. It's like not like Rebel like 3-story type of thing, but the ones on the floor, it looks like they just put like some like office couches together and like a table for the booth, and like
Better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. Honestly,
Yeah.
I find it works. I mean, that's how Grand Bazaar kind of looks too.
Yeah.
yeah,
a
I
little bit.
guess to each their
Even-
own, but
Even if they put folding chairs, I'll just sit down.
Even
No.
Rebel at the back, you know, on the top where Noir is. Like for yesterday, I noticed that they had booths behind that like not the bar, but like right in front of it. They had like seating area too.
Oh shit.
I don't
And
know
you-
if I'm paying for bottle service, like that's not sufficient to me, in my opinion. And then, but I would like to shout out to like the girlies at the bar. They're very nice. Like they're very young and nice. But then, and then the coat check boys very young as well. But yeah, the coat check pricing is like OD, and like there's still a tip screen for it, so it's $7. And then if you don't have cash, they charge you tax, and then there's like a tip screen, and I'm just like,
That's
wow.
brutal.
Yeah.
It's one of those venues that I've been a couple times. For certain artists, it'll work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know Will Sparks was here earlier this year, and like it was sold out, but I heard like that wasn't a good venue for like Will Sparks sound. But like we went to the Just Dreaming event earlier this year. I thought that was fantastic for what it was.
I think Just Dreaming
No,
was
for
fine.
the Just Dreaming event, even though I didn't go, it looked amazing. Like, and like, yeah, support your local artists. But
Yeah, they maximized that second room perfectly to keep the size. Like we were wondering how it was gonna work, and it was a good size. I don't know how the experience was when the main room shut. They're like everyone can go into the second room.
Yeah.
I'm like we ended up leaving because I'm like that seems like a bad idea because there would have been so many people
Yeah.
in that room.
I think the main reason why I don't prefer that place is I don't think there's enough like lit energy in that room. Like half of the events aren't too full. and it just looks kind of dead.
Have
And
you been
then-
to Inquisitive?
Yeah, I was at the first Inquisitive.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was kind of dead. Not Inquisitive, but like the venue is kind of dead half the time. Like everybody's pushed up to the front, and then half the back venue is just like complete wilderness.
I had
Yeah.
that when
Yeah.
I just saw DJ Isaac there, who's a hardstyle DJ, and it felt like that too, where it was like the back. In fact, they only had 2 bartenders working too.
Yeah.
So they usually have, I think, like 6. They have 2 at the front, left, 2 at the right, and then 2 at the back. They only had 2 in total.
Yeah, their coat check area just felt like it was like P Mall closed down. like you know that type of
Pacific
vibe?
Mall for those
Yeah.
of you guys, everyone listening.
Yeah, normally I don't see Forbidden City selling out
Exactly.
unless it's like Inquisitive. But
Or just streaming.
yeah.
I think it's also the thing is like when it's sold out based on its layout, it probably won't work. You know what I mean? Like it won't work for the acoustics. It won't work for that. So it's one of those venues where I think that's maybe why the drink prices are so expensive, because they have to
Yeah.
recruit money somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I've had great experiences when I've gone. And I know what you mean about dead crowd, but once again, for me, it doesn't matter if it's a dead crowd. If you got good friends or people around you who are hyping you up,
Maybe
it
I'm
makes the
just
difference.
overanalyzing. I feel like there's particularly a higher ratio of people on vitamins at that venue, and it looks like people that aren't very used to taking vitamins and don't really have control of like their usage. And it looks a little chaotic. And
It's all the same to me when I go to all these
Yeah.
events. I literally see all the, you go Rebel, Coda, you just look around like,
Yeah.
yo, it's Thursday night.
yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's Thursday night.
it's just really weird. And then if you see them and then they're in the wilderness, which is the back part, I'm like, what are you doing in that mental state in the wilderness? Like, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's just like, why are you off in that one corner
Yeah.
right there?
Yeah.
So it's kind
I'm surprised you have a lot of more negative, because for you, this is the closest venue.
Yeah,
other
I
than
could walk
comfort
there.
zone.
I just I think vibes are important for me, and the aura is just a little off. It just always it seems like the litness is not there. Like maybe for community events like just streaming, it's like everybody's like bonded together.
Friendly,
It's
yeah.
full, but then you go to like a trance event or I went to Bose. Yeah, everybody was like shoved to the front, and then once it ended, it just looked dead AF. Like
I think
Yeah,
it's just
that's
typically- I
venue
think-
layout problem.
I think that's typically for all, right? For even like Nomad, a lot of people tend to push to the front, right?
yeah, but
Because it kinda-
Nomad has the lighting and everything.
But Nomad
that
is
was a-
smaller too.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why it's like not as bad. But when
Yeah.
it's so big and there's so much space, once people start leaving, then it just becomes even more empty.
Should we
it-
move on to Nomad?
It's
Yeah.
also
Nomad didn't even-
just one thing about that. It's also no speakers at the back at Forbidden City, which
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
a big difference,
The
right?
wilderness.
Well, that's what I mean. So like sound, as what we talked about with Teletech, when all the speakers are at the front at the Paramount, when you're at the back, you're not going to get the same quality
Yeah,
as you're at the
exactly,
front.
yeah.
So that's why everyone wants to push. That's a venue layout problem. That's why we're talking about it.
I feel like it would the vibes would be a little different if they were to add a little more production in the back, maybe some lighting or like even some neon bars at the back, like neon bar
No,
lighting.
but
yeah.
then the thing is that Nomad didn't even used to have lights.
Really?
No, they didn't have the lasers that shines up and down.
They didn't have used
those
to have
are-
lasers,
yeah.
but they had lights. No,
They had lights. I went there
the
like the
bar-
first few
the
weeks of
bar lights.
opening.
I
they
think
were
it's more on the front. Like,
They've
at
been
the back.
They've been upgrading. The lasers
Yeah.
are a recent new
They
addition.
served charcuterie the first few weeks of opening. I just kept eating. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Nomad also had the bar right in the center at one
Yes,
point.
they did.
Yeah.
That was at the beginning
That
where
was
they had the
terrible.
charcuterie. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess since we're talking about Nomad, we're gonna. So Nomad's
Yeah.
one that popped up after the pandemic. We have a mini list of
it's
like
not the
event-
newest one of the newest venues in the list we're going through, but
Yeah, it
yeah.
literally like we had a couple venues that kind of popped up after the pandemic that have now become like staples in the
Yeah.
scene. So Nomad's one of them.
Mhm.
yeah, they also have the Void sound system, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
yeah, but it's only really good in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a little like I guess it sounded like raspy at like when I went to like Slander at their techno set.
So I find at Nomad is that their audio, whoever's the audio engineer, I don't know if it keeps changing, but whatever audio engineer they use it's like someone keeps screwing up the sound, or like
Probably
it doesn't sound the same, right?
Probably
You
a
gotta
team
stand
that
at the
keeps
front.
fighting each other.
No, it's probably just, I don't know if it's like, oh, we have a dedicated sound engineer for every show, or
Mhm.
the person who comes brings their own, and then they're screwing around with the system.
Right.
Because I've been to Nomad a couple times over the in fact, I want to say at one point last year, I think Nomad was the venue I frequented the most at one point because they were booking all the techno acts. Like every week, every week they had a good techno act, so we kept going.
I was there.
And
how was Maddox?
so Maddox is the one I didn't go to, but
Maddox was good, but again, the sound in the where we standing initially was not good.
Yeah.
We had to move to the front.
It sounded a lot better towards the end because everybody started leaving, and then that's when Maddox got good too.
Those booths are kind of weird too.
Yeah, they are weird.
the reason why it's weird is because of like how the funneling system works at trying to get to, once again, everyone's trying to go to the front because it's the sound at every time I've gone Nomad, the sound's been very inconsistent. But as with any venue, when it's half full, great.
Yeah.
Nomad, fantastic when it's half full, right? Because you got anywhere you stand, sound was good. Like people aren't moving in between the crowds. The way the booths are is one problem, is like they're so big, and like you have to kind of like navigate around them, and the tables stick out a little bit too.
Yeah.
Which
The pretty much the pathways to the front is in front of the booth, so everyone's just walking in front of the booth to the front, and it's just kind of messy.
yeah.
I think elevated booths are probably the best.
But once again, you gotta work with these smaller venues.
Yeah.
Can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Which is the one problem. So
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like how people they sit on the booth, they sit on
sit on the top. They don't
sit
sit
on
on
the
the
top just to have the elevated experience, you know.
and no one says anything. But
Yeah.
that's how it is. Any venue with the booth has that too, and
Yeah.
I feel like they do that on purpose because they know people.
Yeah, exactly.
One reason to buy a booth or get a booth, make friends and get booths.
So yeah, I mean, since we are on like these pandemics, before we jump back, let's just stay on this topic a little bit. History also popped up in post-pandemic.
Drake's venue.
Didn't used to be EDM related. They started putting in more artists, mainly dubsteps.
It's
And,
what we're hoping the Great Canadian Casino continues to do, where they book
Yeah.
like bigger acts, but we get more EDM. But to be honest, lately history's been booking quite a few EDM acts.
They're slowly upgrading their system too.
And
like
that's-
they have
that-
more like they have more lasers, they have more like confetti pops and everything.
Yeah.
We know people like us are willing to go, so they're
Yeah.
willing to put in that.
I think that's exactly what Christine said. That's what's happening, is that I probably went to the first show there, and it's like night and day difference now how good history is.
What was the first show?
I think it was like one of the ZZ.
Oh,
It was like the Zed's Dead.
was it December?
It was like November.
I think.
Blank did an AP. I remember that,
Oh,
and we went to Velvet. But it wasn't designed. I want to say it wasn't initially designed as a full EDM venue.
Yeah.
Like they had these giant speakers, but it seems like no one knew how to properly
it's
use
just like
them.
a modern concert hall. type
Exactly,
of
like a
thing.
more elevated. It's like a updated Danforth for concert hall.
I think the EDM crowd and audience is just more consistent. Like we're willing to go out like every weekend.
Yeah,
So
that's
people
true.
that go to
Very much.
concerts are waiting for the
I
specific.
think we mentioned
artist.
like times are changing. Like people want to be at like, how do you say it? Exclusive or like tailored events rather than clubbing every weekend.
Yeah, like clubs are slowly dying and more. I know there's this one interesting vehicle about the UK scene where that's actually prominent, where clubs are
Dying, yeah.
Clubs are dying, but like venues are popping up because like more people want to go to a specific event.
Yeah, it's interesting because like last night we were at Cosmic Gate and we had a booth, and then there was like a booth near us that looked like they were hosting like a 19th or 20th birthday party. So they probably booked it thinking it was like some club night, and then everybody's just in like t-shirts and like whatever pants.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all the booths around us were like in suits and girls were in dresses, and we're just like in our
This
casual.
is not the event.
This
for
is like
it.
we're just in our casual EDM wear.
Yeah.
So.
But it was Saturday night too, so
Yeah. So yeah, EDM events started infiltrating, and then you've got these people looking into like booking the night out, thinking it's like a club night. Yeah.
yeah. But as
Because the one of the reasons why, because Saturday used to be Revolutionary Saturdays, so they used to play a lot,
usually is, yeah.
hip hop, and then
They have
one
the
of
bird
the
cages.
yeah,
Dress up.
yeah, one of the previous episodes when we said that because when they have Revolutionary Saturdays on the main floor, the Noir section was still EDM, and you can go in the separate entrance into Noir, and then one of our mutual friends tried to get in with track pants, right? Yeah, that story. So the other venues, Axis, also mainly dub scene. But they are starting to they're starting to get more and more
EDM.
non-dub EDM, right?
They do.
they
Apparently, they
usually-
do book like other stuff too, because you can have like a jam band and stuff there
They
too.
usually do concerts.
yeah,
there.
they usually do concerts there. Yeah,
It's a big concert.
My high school semi-formal was there,
Really?
or like
Yeah.
some
That's
night.
funny.
Yeah. And I lost my Chanel earrings there or something. Something happened like that.
So one thing I like about Exodus is that it's kind of decent size for a venue, but the sound system bleeds terribly because it's like there's no back.
Yeah, it's all front speaking.
It's all front speaking. But at one event that we didn't go, it was Colin for the Afterlife label. They kind of make it into like a boiler room setting.
360.
Yeah, 360. So that's
It
why we
works
went.
in that room. That's why I was like, huh, that's really good, because they have the speakers at the front. If you just put 2 speakers at the back facing inwards, you could make that every single show there a boiler room experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can get to the bathroom so much more easily.
Yeah, what I
Yeah.
don't like about that venue is the bathroom situation. There is a second floor bathroom that's accessible most of the time. I think sometimes it's not. And then there's this like little left corner where you have to
Corner.
go downstairs
Yeah.
for the bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to cut through the whole crowd.
Is there
to do
booths at Access? I have
Yeah,
seen them
there
set
is.
up booths
There is
at
upstairs.
at the
It's
top.
upstairs,
But
yeah.
is it paid? Like,
That? It's paid.
Probably.
okay.
But,
But to be honest, like as what Christine was saying, the bathroom's upstairs, and you can actually go on that elevated platform or like that second floor and just stand at the railing.
Yeah.
And I've seen shows there too, and it's actually really nice to see a show there.
That's why it kind of works, because like the railing actually extends all the way up to the stage, and you have a 360 in the center, right? And
You
then
can
get,
look
you get,
down
like,
too.
bird's eye
Yeah,
view
yeah.
into that, so
They're
it
one
kind of
of-
works better.
Yeah, they're one of those venues like Rebel that would hand out water at the end of the event. And also Rebel obviously hands out popcorn, so there's that.
Yeah. So going back to the previous topic, like Empire Supper Club, I've been there once for a TIFF event, like Toronto International Film Festival. They had like an EDM night.
And I
I
went there for Ben Gold way back, but I haven't seen any other. I haven't gone to any other events
Wait,
since.
for TIFF, was that Shaq?
No, it's not.
I was like,
Shaq hosting an event in Toronto. That would
no,
be
there was
lit.
some other interesting DJ that was like half amateur that was playing for TIFF.
I
No?
do not know who it was. He had a long career, but like his career is like kind of dying down. So like he just played
No.
normal small club shows. I forgot the artist name, but like there was nobody there, and like the sound system is only good when you're in the front. And
Where is this?
Empire Supper
Like,
Club.
where is Empire Supper Club?
It's on King.
Oh.
Next to the
King and John?
yeah, King and John. Then the Henry.
So the Henry's like an event space venue that you can just pop up. It's like a mini warehouse. We went to A-Rod there.
Yeah, A-Rod.
We went to
yeah.
A-Rod there, and I think a lot of the EDM events have it set up exactly the same way. I mean, not a bad venue for what it is. Same thing, they brought in the Void sound system, which was pretty cool.
Like McCormick, we don't know why like the neighbors don't have complaints or like it's still there.
Oh yeah, I remember I took a video where we were walking outside behind, and there's houses like
Townhomes, yeah.
right beside it,
Yeah.
and all you hear is doosh, 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 and we're just like, how is no one complaining about this?
Maybe that's why there's no more hard techno there.
I mean, but there was an event there last night also at Cosmic 8 where they had a drum and bass DJ,
Oh.
Voltage playing there.
Then it would be the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly. Then it'd just be a constant rattling. So, it is a newer venue. I don't know. Like when we went to A-Rod, and I didn't see anyone else book it other than last night.
One of us would have been there already.
Well, yeah. But that's the thing. Like we went there, but then yesterday was the only time I heard that it was being booked again. So I guess they made it work. But also mini warehouse, not bad. Bathroom situation questionable.
It's interesting. It's like a
always, yeah.
makeshift.
Bar
Yeah.
system questionable.
Bar
but
system
yeah.
questionable.
Wait, I remember that night at A-Rod, you waited in line for water for a while.
Yeah, because the cashier was down. Like the cashier was down, and like a funny story. Please tip your bartender, because I bought a bottle of water, because I typically just buy one bottle of water. If it's a new venue, I don't usually tip the first time around. And then like the screen stuck at $6 with no tip. And the whole time there, I was just standing. I didn't even tip. So I was just like, "Oh, you're good, good," and I just went away.
That's funny.
I mean,
just feel
saying.
bad about it.
I feel bad, but like next time if there is the Henry booking, I'll probably tip. But typically on the first time around, I don't usually tip because I don't know you. I just buying a water bottle. So.
That's because you're paying $6 for a water bottle.
Yeah, I'm already paying $6 for a water bottle. That's already tip included. Yeah. Yeah, and typically you just hand me one. You're not pouring a drink, so it's fine.
So Henry's on the east side of more on the eastern end too.
Like the church Wellesley
yeah,
side.
the church area. So it's like the only venue in that area other than maybe Phoenix. I think Phoenix is the only other one in that little area.
Oh man, those two.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. The next venue, which I think only I've been, but it's recently new, is.
Are they only doing private things there right now?
So
like
it actually
invite only.
It's I don't even know if it's actually what the actual venue call other than 100 Sims is the address location.
Is that the street name?
That's the street name and where
like
it is.
Sims is the full name.
That's the
Okay.
SYMS is the full name, and it's literally I think it's like a second floor of I think below is like a packaging plant. And then they have it in a
factory loft.
Yeah, and then they have it in secondary floor. But from what I'm aware, so right now our local company DNR is using it for like a new promo series that they're running called Nowhere. That I went to their inaugural event
to like just promote locals.
Yeah,
right?
just promote locals. But I know the venue is used for like photography.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I saw this venue starting early last year. Some of our local DJ friends were like doing live sets there, like just streaming live. So there's that. I guess it's like a rented.
Yeah, it's a rented space.
Yeah.
Body Shop Studios is also for photos too.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's probably exactly like that, where it's used. It's
a rental space.
It's a rental space, so they're renting it out, but they have 2 rooms set up. It looked pretty good. Bathroom situation questionable again because they only had 3 in the entire, 2 guys and 1 female.
2 guys.
That's it. Like literally 2 guy
Wouldn't
washrooms.
it be usually 2
girls,
females.
one
Yeah.
guy.
They I think. Sorry, I take that back. I think one was just open ended.
Oh.
So one
okay.
was, and then
Gender
on
fluid.
one side, and then one side they had guy girl.
So
Questionable.
This like from this trend I'm seeing with like Gary, 100 Sims. Yeah, I think we're starting to, and even the Henry. I think we might have like a mini LA type of thing going on.
That's what it's somewhat looking at. It's just nothing. There's a lot of question marks and will it be good?
Yeah.
Because when I seen in LA for those like Los Angeles is
Lincoln-
known
Lincoln
for
Dip
their.
and,
We have a TBA warehouse, which we'll talk about in a sec. But when Los Angeles says TBA warehouse, it could be
literally anything. in the
literally
city.
anywhere in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. And like from what I know, like the setups can be insane. Like they do a good job. Those companies that book down there. We're still not there yet. We are definitely not there yet. We're working with whatever we got. But yes, we are seeing more of those.
Definitely improvements from here on out.
The
for
2
sure.
I've been to, yeah, they're just like random spots. So this is giving me that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, just as we're talking about venues, one reason why we want to talk about this is I've been raving for a while. There's been a lot of venues that have come and gone, a lot of apartments that have now popped up. I would say we are right now in probably one of the best situations for venues.
There's sufficient amount.
There's sufficient amount. And
different
like,
sizes.
I think I kind of came to that conclusion after a couple of these ones that we've been to recently. The next one we're going to talk about, Sound Machine, and also after like Great Canadian, now Paramount. I'm just like, we got a lot we're working on in Toronto that's actually like
good,
huge for the future.
like people are making improvements, right? We had the
and we're not losing venues too.
first Gary,
So-
and now
so-
there's a new Gary, right? So yeah.
So I want to say something about Phoenix. I don't know if I could keep this in the episode, but my friend that works at the for the city said Phoenix is actually they're planning to shut it down or something and build a condo on there.
Oh,
So there
classic.
might be something going on there.
I mean, that could be a lot of venues. I've heard rumors
Yeah.
about Rebel too.
Yeah.
Like
I am,
this whole bridge construction isn't for Rebel. It's for actually building condos there. And then
I am
Rebel's
sorry,
gonna relocate.
but like I think the staff is nice there, but the security absolutely horrible.
Who, Phoenix?
Yeah. So like, peace out, guys. I hope Phoenix employees find a better venue to work at, and then
But
bye rude security. Yeah.
But apparently Phoenix is the only venue in the city that is independent and does not run with Ticketmaster and all those guys. So they sell their own tickets.
That's usually a good.
Off topic, I saw
Yeah.
BTS there in 2015. Signed a pic and took a picture with them.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I've seen some good
That's
shows over
crazy.
there over the years, and to be honest, I know they're very known for the rock concerts. That's
Yeah.
their bread and butter. And and I've seen a lot of.
The area, like, not everybody is comfortable walking into at night. So I also lost my phone there, 2021,
Jason Ross.
22. No,
Dabin?
it was. I think it was
Dabin.
Dabin. It was Dabin. Yeah.
I knew it was one of those shows because I was there. I remember
No,
you told me.
Jason Ross, somebody threw up on my Ophelia flag and I sniffed it. I didn't know. I was like, what's this warm thing? And then I went into the washroom and I was washing it, and the girl who threw up on my flag was next to me.
Bro. Ew, that's gross.
Yeah, so Phoenix has some interesting.
I feel like I've always had interesting stories that happen at Phoenix, but that's
Yep.
another whole topic that
Yeah.
we'll go into at another time. We just mentioned Sound Machine. Like Sound Machine, something new. I know we fell in love with it when we went earlier,
Yeah.
Benny, for some of the events
Where's
we went
this one?
to.
This one next to Alpha Shawarma, remember?
Alpha Shawarma, that's the location.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sound Machines at Alpha Shawarma is what we tell people where it is.
Queen and Bathurst. Queen and Bathurst. Yeah, but Sound Machine is a good venue. Very, very small actually. But
How small would you compare it to?
It's
Which
super underground.
it's super underground.
It's like
like old CZ type of size, Vertigo
I've never heard of
sizing?
old
I would say half of Nomad.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
No, it is
No.
like old CZ type.
Old CZ
type,
size,
yeah, it
okay,
is
yeah.
Old CZ type.
Yeah.
That's a good reference. Yeah, it's as we said, it's like their marketing was kind of weird. They're like, we're not gonna market anything for this
Yeah.
venue, but I don't know how you can promote.
And then they also said like, no videos, pictures recorded, but nobody cares.
yeah, if you look at my Diane Stan Christ video, I have like maybe 40 of them or something like that. But that's because like at one point they're like, oh, no videos, but then everyone's whipping out their phone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
They can't stop the show, to be honest.
But
Yeah.
yeah, new venue. I've seen 2 shows there.
I've seen.
Are they techno?
3.
Yeah, all
You've seen 3?
techno.
Which one?
Mm.
I,
Is
the only shows that really get booked at Sound Machine is techno.
It's techno. There has been some house.
Like acid, anything techno?
I've only been to the hard techno.
All things under the techno umbrella are get
Yeah,
booked
well,
there.
yeah, I only seen 2, not 3. So first was what's that guy's name?
Diane Stan Christ.
No,
Perplex.
Huh?
We went Perk.
Perk.
Perk,
Oh.
Perk and Diane. The Perk and then Diane and Stan Christ was the second one. The third one was supposed to be our pre-party teletag, but none of us. We all say we want to go, but none of us actually showed up.
It would have been a good show.
Yeah, it would have been a good show, but like I do not know like how because I was kind of like want to take a break a little bit on that phase, so like I was trying to like moving out some of the shows that I don't want to go see, not like important.
My reasoning was at one point there was 50% off tickets and I didn't pull the trigger. And then when I actually like, oh, maybe I want to go, I saw tickets were double and the code didn't work. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
that's what happened at Jewel's. He wanted to buy the 2-for-1 and then he didn't go.
That's exactly what happened. I knew I could have got a cheaper ticket. And then I realized it was gone. I'm like, I don't want to pay double. I'm not going. Or I just not go.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like cheaper tickets, you always want to go. But like, I mean, Best is free.
Yes.
Best is free.
Or half off.
So the next one is Bay Lower Station.
I mean, I wouldn't really call this a venue. This is kind of like a
TTC?
one-off. We just have like
TTC rave.
one. It's exactly. It's like all these pop-up
Wait,
ones.
were there washrooms?
Yeah, there was washrooms.
You had to go use the actual TTC washrooms, like on the bay level floor.
But it's for the public usually,
Yeah,
or it's
yeah.
for the
Yeah, it's public,
Oh.
public.
Were they clean?
I didn't use them.
I like
I mean, it's TTC.
Yeah, it's
washrooms,
okay.
so-
off topic.
Kinda
The
smelled.
Finch Station ones used to be horrible, but now they've gotten better. So I was just wondering.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
Well,
that's
wait. The good old TBA warehouse.
Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about the good old TBA warehouse. Recently, have been popped up in post-pandemic.
What was it? ra.co? Is that the
Yes.
ticketing website?
That's usually the
Yeah.
people use RA, but we've also
We
had
also bought-
Ticketmaster.
yeah,
The two
Ticketmaster.
organizers that really utilize that space is Format and Pep Rally.
And Apollo.
Apollo,
Last
yeah,
Planet.
Apollo, yeah,
Last
yeah,
Planet
yeah.
Pep Rally.
Apollo.
There's a couple now. Like even Embrace has used it too as the local.
and it's
Well,
still
Charlotte-
TBA,
But
right?
we call it the TBA warehouse
because
because
it's always TBA. Yeah.
it's always the TBA warehouse.
It's
and
the
then
131 McCormick.
yes. And
They-
it's
they
funny
should-
too because like we have these mini venues popping up, but usually whenever we see a TBA warehouse and you look at the artist, like say a Miss Monique, you're like, it's gonna be at McCormick
Yeah,
because
or
there's
Charlotte
no
DeWitt.
or there's no
that
other.
sizing.
They should
that-
really put a sign. You know the sign is TBA warehouse
With the
on
marker?
outside.
Yeah.
No, like a full on neon sign outside.
And, like the name of the venue is TBA Warehouse.
Yeah. Like literally
Just
neon sign.
register that on under your
Google Maps suggested on Google Maps.
Yeah, so McCormick is actually a very, very good warehouse, I would say.
Oh.
They have like a 2-stage setup.
I've seen 3 before too. It could depend. Like
It
you can
depends
do
on-
like a mini festival in there
Yeah.
too, which is kind of cool.
Which is what we went for format, right?
Pep rally.
Pep rally is like sort of like a mini festival in terms of like
They
TBA.
always do collabs. So what they
Yeah.
do is they have their pep rally guys, and then they bring on like a foreign.
Yeah, like I went to one
Foreign group.
earlier. It was like Last Planet, our other local company that does underground stuff, ex Pep Rally. So the main room where it's bigger, they had the Pep Rally. We call it the Pep Rally room. The other one was the Last Planet room where they had like dark dub, like dubstep, and then the other one had like high energy techno.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could just walk through that middle hot walkway into both of them. Sometimes also I've gone to recent ones like Ben Clock, went to Rebecca. They just use the first area and they actually block it off where you don't use the second area. So it's not even being powered. So like obviously for renting purposes, like, oh, you just want to rent this one? Okay, we'll just
This
charge
is
you.
the price.
We'll just charge you for this one, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, they also use the second area for like Kojak, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
But there are like a lot of spots where they it's very versatile, I would say.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fun.
our legit. It's TBA warehouse. It's
It's our
literally
legit-
bring your own system, bring your own setup, bring your own lighting.
They do sometimes day shows there. I've seen a couple of day shows.
It's
I haven't like seen it, but I've seen
I
it.
And
went.
it's techno.
Not always techno.
I went to one last year that was technically a mini festival. So they're hosting a mini festival also in
Which
Toronto.
company? Format?
It was Last Planet who
like,
hosted
is
it.
That Apollo? Apollo?
None.
No.
Apollo didn't do it, but right now there's a team up for another festival coming in the summer called Sojourn, and it's a team up between
Sojourn?
like Sojourn.
Oh, okay.
It's a team up between like Last Planet, Format,
How do you spell that?
SJ. It's like
SOJOUR.
I'll put
Yeah.
I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
and it's a team up between a couple of the local companies to promote local and also bring on international artists. And it's a festival, so I'm assuming it's either day and night. I've also gone to one last year that was a day. They had a night party and they had a day party. And what they did with the day party is they just kept all the doors open.
Ah.
So it's just like
I
you
think,
get-
okay,
You
I was
hear
just
the
about to
music.
say like if it's a day party to night, like I don't even know how I'm gonna survive the heat.
no,
thing.
I mean we're going to UK style at that point, like
Yeah.
Benny's story when you rave all day and then you go to the AP all night.
Yeah, that was
Open the doors.
But yeah, the only thing about the TBA warehouse, which I know a lot of people
Don't like.
don't like, is the heat at times.
Yeah, the heat. I mean, bathroom questionable.
Also questionable.
But it moves fast though.
Yeah, it moves fast, but like when I first the first few times I went to this TBA warehouse, there was not a person that dedicate to guide you to which bathroom you can go in, right? So it's like, oh, am I first or are you first or am I first or are you first? And then like kind of like delays the situation.
Yeah, there's two different sides you can
Yeah, yeah.
enter, so people
Yeah.
just kind of rush on whichever side.
So now like the more recent shows like Miss Monique, I went there. There was a dedicated person to assign you which bathroom that you're gonna go to. Right, you're first. This one, next. You know, it's more like organized. It's like faster in that way. But like the first few times, questionable. Like when you went there, like the toilet papers are still on the seat. You know, half the puke is on the floor. You know.
It's gotten better. It's gotten better.
It's gotten a lot better. Yeah.
So this whole rundown of like venues, so like the venues that are mainly techno venues, the washrooms are questionable.
Honestly, I wouldn't even
all
just.
bad.
I
I think
it's
it's all
like
bad.
literally all. The
I think it's
only,
all of them.
honestly, the only one I would say is like somewhat decent is Rebel,
Rebel.
and only when you go to that
History.
front left one.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Rebel actually has some nice.
Oh, sorry. History has some nice ones
History.
too. History is
Yes,
pretty nice
yes.
too.
History is pretty nice. Rebel is there is a guy there.
How's department? Did they renovate the washrooms?
It's
I still probably the
saw it
same.
a little bit
it's-
renovated.
Very much the same.
It's similar, but it's better. Like it's more fit for the aesthetic of department. but yeah, it's
So
kind of similar.
black box.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
yeah, I would say like I think the one problem with a lot of these venues is just not enough bathrooms. Essentially that's what it is. Like
Yeah.
even like a place like Coda, you have for the guy you have what 4 stalls, like 5 urinals and like 3 stalls.
I've never had a problem with Coda bathrooms.
I mean, there's always a line every time I see it.
Yeah, but I only use the urinals. Don't go into the stalls. I've never been into the stalls in my
The
entire
lowest
life.
quality I would do is probably like Access or Forbidden City,
Nah,
and then if
Nomad
it's
is bad.
Nomad's pretty bad
Yeah,
now.
Nomad's pretty
Really?
bad now.
Yeah.
anything lower than that, I'll just hold it.
Nomad's bad because of the layout now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like goes
it's
up the stairs,
bad.
which is like
It's
terrible.
very bad.
Yeah, and then they open up all the washrooms to be
Gender neutral.
Gender
Yes,
neutral. Yeah.
gender-
Which is fine. I just don't like where you have to line up.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
no, it's bad. It's bad.
And like people, they will say that, oh, I'm actually doing coach check, but they're cutting in line, you know.
Yeah, I was like, get the
Oh,
hell outta
wow.
here.
So it's like, yeah, it's the bathroom situation is always questionable.
Worst. I would
Yeah.
say that's probably the worst.
Yeah, Nomad's the worst
So,
one.
do we?
So yeah, based on all this, we at the beginning we said that we want to give our top 5. We debated about this, we talked it over, and we're gonna give our top 5 for.
Yeah, and how we choose this ranking system is that we how you travel for it, like the layout, the sound system, and like the whole production value, and also like buying drinks and whatnot,
Mhm.
right?
So,
So all the
number
above.
5 first, right? We'll do
Yeah.
number 5.
Roll.
Little drum roll.
We should do honorable mention first. So we can
Oh yeah,
kinda
yeah.
cut
Well, let's
off
do that
all
first. So,
this.
yeah, that makes more sense.
So we put department because mainly we use that for the example here. I think it's actually significantly improved from what Toy Box is, but they
They're
can
trying.
They're trying.
They're
They're
definitely
trying.
trying.
So, we're
it's a
still
good thing,
unsure
yeah.
because there's still the whole toy box.
Yeah,
loom,
I mean,
like
the
the
Toy Box
negativity.
Shadow.
The negativity.
Yeah, I mean when we say Toy Box is hot box, but yes. Department definitely improving. Probably like a few years down the road, they're probably gonna change the name again to another one.
That's the
but-
only thing.
Yeah, and I mean because it was from Union to Toy Box to Department, so Department is actually, I would say overall pretty good.
Step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction, yeah. Then Body Shop Studios, as Benny mentioned, free water bottle,
Chef's
Like-
kiss.
chef's kiss, yeah.
Just
Super
more venues
friendly.
need to do that.
Yeah.
Paramount Ice temperature, free parking,
Is thumbs up, by the way.
thumbs up, yeah.
Yeah. He's
And-
not eating anything.
Yeah.
Yum.
So-
But yeah, like Paramount Ice, like just good promise. I
Good
think a lot
promise,
of things
yeah.
just like with all these is like all these new venues that we want to mention, honorable mention, like they're like brand new venues that we talked about, but like they have potential to become like great
Yeah,
venues.
venues,
Like
yeah.
like how History was when it started, how like some of these other ones started.
And the good thing about Paramount Ice is that it's big.
It is.
Yeah.
It's big, yeah.
And I can go home after.
Yeah. Another, you know. So then, last but not least, so we put this. We kind of decided pretty hard. Great Canadian Casino. The reason why it's an honorable mention is because like the sheer size of the venue and whatnot, we will not get like a lot of good artists.
It's not. It won't be a regular
Yeah, it won't be a-
venue.
Even though when Excision happened, everyone literally labeled it as the best city. We came up in our discussion too
Yeah.
as do we put it in our top ranking because we had it almost near the top because like everything about the venue was just great.
Everything was just great. Yeah.
Well, the service at the bar was okay, but
But who knows? Maybe 8 months down the road, like we'll probably see Saturday Landry there.
Yeah, so we've like there's only been one EDM
Yeah.
act there.
And there's none
so,
booked
yeah.
upcoming. Like we don't know what's in the future for
is
it.
there concerts booked there right now?
There is concerts, but no EDM concerts yet.
I'm surprised like how it's gonna be because it was just flat. It was just flat.
I mean, we have venues here that is just flat. So
Yeah.
So-
And like how Benny said how Paramount Ice is close for him. Love this venue because it's close for me.
yeah.
So this is our pod potential list.
Yeah.
So-
honorable mentions.
So if you guys are working for any of these companies, we're in support right now.
Yes.
So moving on to the rankings, we start with 5
Pod picks.
pod picks.
We have a tie for this one technically.
We have a yeah. I would say, well, most of my vote here when I suggested it, like most of the team agrees, is actually Sound Machine. The reason why, even though despite the heat, it kind of fits with the vibe of like the music genre that you're going to. If you've never been Sound Machine and you're a big fan of like hard techno, I suggest go for it. Let the heat actually sweat you out. and
It just has that nice grungy underground
Yeah.
vibe, which is what we're missing in a lot of venues.
One question: since it's like such a small venue, and I guess it's like for smaller acts, how much are the tickets?
It's actually
It's
really
cheap.
really
Yeah,
cheap.
it's
Like
very,
like
very
of
cheap,
what?
yeah.
Like
like 40
Less than 40
Honestly depends. If I've seen a couple local nights, it's like $15, $20.
okay, that's cheap.
So like you it depends on if they book a bigger artist, it's gonna be maybe more. Like Phobos was like $30 to start.
Yeah,
Which is not bad.
Nusha was $40, or I paid $22.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you
Yeah.
paid
Yeah.
$22
Yeah.
to
if
go
you pay
early.
$22, it's like cheap, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For an artist like Phobos, right?
So sound
Oh,
machine.
Nusha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clara.
I bought
Kulu?
tickets for that too
Yeah?
early,
Yeah.
$22.
Okay. Oh, it was $22.
It was like something really cheap. As I said, like for these smaller underground artists that we want to see, it's like the perfect venue to bring them in. Like
Yeah.
someone who can't sell out some of these other venues where you're not looking to buy boots or anything because, like, say
You just want to go for
you
the
just want to go for the music,
yeah.
right? And it's not an after hours like CZ.
Mhm.
Like we didn't
Yeah.
include any after hours in this because
That's a different animal.
as a panel we don't like going to events at 4 a.m. in the morning. We just don't.
Yeah. It
We
takes
don't like to start at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
in
we
the
don't like to
morning.
Yeah,
start
yeah.
at 4 a.m.
or last till 4 a.m. to start at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then the venue is very small. Sound system great.
Production too could be great.
yeah. And it's very, very loud
Just
for
hot.
the size, yeah. And it's just hot.
But
But,
like
It's
most venues are hot.
experience here.
Yeah,
Like,
most-
it's the underground experience. That's what
Yeah.
you get.
Most-
The underground experience at a more reasonable time.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
and next to Alpha Shroma.
Yeah.
And you can, and Alpha Sharma closes at 4 a.m. So yes, you
Depends
can-
on day.
Good
Yeah.
good post rave snack.
Yeah.
Or before if you want dank breath.
Sponsor us.
Or if you want dank breath before.
So coming in,
Thai?
it's Thai. Sorry, coming in Thai with this is actually Access Club. The reason why we put this in is because of that 360 experience, the versatility of putting in a 360 experience of boiler room type of DJ and Access Club is actually a plus.
I think that's probably negotiated with Argy, right? So
Well,
It's
it's
Colin.
Colin.
it was Colin. It was
Yeah.
Colin.
Colin? Okay.
It was I don't know if it's negotiated. I think it's just something they wanted to try.
Yeah,
It was like the event program. It's like, hey, let's try this and let's see if it works. Feedback I heard was great.
yeah.
I heard a lot of people liked it. Like it felt very intimate. Like that's what boiler rooms are. But like it worked for the access. That's what we talked about when we talked about access.
When
when
was
we-
Colin?
This was like March, April,
No.
February, March.
I think it was February.
Because February there was ISO EXO, and ISO and Knock usually do 360.
I think it was early. It was earlier, like February, early.
Because
February.
first week of
No, it
February
was-
was ISO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's post ISO.
Was it post?
Yeah.
I think it's post
Okay.
ISO.
So if ISO comes back and books the same place, 360, please. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much tight on the 5th.
Yeah, the normal layout's not bad. Like
But
it's just inconsistent, as what we
Yeah.
talked about. Like
We are
just
leaning towards more Sound Machine than it is for Access Club.
It's just it's new.
Yeah.
So-
And then coming in number 4 is Nomad. Non-sold out shows in Nomad is always a great time, especially last year when there's a lot of like techno shows. This year there's Maddox. There's also a lot of DnBs being hosted.
This
in,
past year, yeah.
Yeah. In Nomad, great time. I saw, what was that DnB show? The two guys,
Cameron Crooked,
Camel and Crooked. Yeah, it was pretty good.
very good. Was busy, but they had
Yeah.
production was really nice. Sound was good. As our biggest negative with Nomad is the bathroom.
Bathroom.
The
Bathroom,
just
yeah.
bathroom situation is just probably the worst in
We
the
should
entire
have
city.
Dog turd.
We should have a worst bathroom ranking list.
Yeah. And then coming in third, History. History has been improving drastically.
It still could, and honestly, if we did this a year from now, it could almost
Could
reach
be
the
better,
top.
yeah.
Constant improvements. So props to the staff
Yeah.
there.
There's a lot more lasers now. There's a lot more good production sound system. Then number 2 is our famous 131 McCormick TBA warehouse. Just the sheer versatility.
Versatility,
Thank you.
just like me saying booking
Yeah.
boots
Yeah.
bookings.
Versatility.
Tongue twisters today.
Yeah. So versatility, and then a lot of great artists has been booked there too, like Rebecca,
Charlotte.
Charlotte Dewitt, well, Miss Monique, and it's a great time. Even though like people can't stand the heat of McCormick, if you can stand the heat of McCormick, you can go to Sound Machine.
That's why you're number 2, McCormick.
It's just versatile for the actual warehouse experience. It's a good one for Toronto.
Yeah.
I think that's why it moves up. The versatility is there. We've all gone to different shows there where you use the second room, you use the first room, you use both rooms.
Yeah,
You
different genres. Too.
different genres, and production's always been stellar. Like every time I go there, I know I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah, and then
You look forward to going there.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
I
that's
look
why.
forward to going too because also short drive chains.
well, not for me though.
For-
It's still kind of far
Not for
drive for me.
us.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, I live in Mississauga. Benny lives in Markham. So for us, whenever a venue's closer to our side, we're like, yes,
Yeah,
let's
we're
go.
me and you kind of downtown kids.
Yeah. So last but not least, number 1.
This is unanimous.
It's on the world rankings too. So
Yeah. So drum roll, please. It's Coda.
We've all just had amazing times there over the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good memories.
A lot of good memories in Coda. Sound system great. Center where underneath the disco ball is fantastic.
I think the layout's very interesting, but it works.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
A lot of
yeah.
DJs even have praise for it too. For that small, intimate club vibe, they
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever looked at pictures from the DJ booth, it's amazing what they can see into the crowd.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they could like
It's just
They can
so
see
intimate.
everything.
They can see everything. You turn
Yeah.
to the left, you see people to the right, turn to the right, turn around.
and the good thing about like where the DJ is that they don't see where people buy drinks. So like it's not like
It's just a crowd
distracting.
staring into the
Yeah.
DJ. Yeah.
There's a crowd staring into the DJ.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
know
a-
what? I never actually thought about that. That the aesthetic is like it's like just a club environment. You're
Yeah.
not seeing people going to get like the DJ is just focused on the dance floor.
Yeah,
not-
it's
not
focused on the dance floor. You don't see the distraction of like the lights of the bottles and everything. So it's actually very good. It makes you focus on the music, makes you focus on the dance floor.
And the bartenders can give you earplugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the bartenders can give you earplugs. You can-
fantastic sound system.
fantastic sound system. You
Um,
can fill up water in the washroom.
you
Right?
can.
No, I don't know.
I will say it's safe, but buying
Well,
What do
buying
you guys
bottled
think of the
water.
coat check area?
so they've improved over the years. Now
yeah.
they use that phone system. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that one time when we were at Green Velvet, oh my God, someone knocked over all the jackets, and I was there for an hour waiting for my jacket.
No.
Oh, really? Like one of the workers?
I don't know what happened. I had no idea. Apparently,
But-
someone walked into the coat check room, and someone like drunk and just knocked over all the coats, and I was just standing there for an hour.
If you lose the tags and everything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they changed the system now where you enter your phone number
Yeah.
Oh,
and then you get a
this
text.
is really recent.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
a text message.
You get a text message.
I think that's the reason why we were saying it's really recent because
How much is it?
well, no, a lot of times is that we run from our cars into Coda without
Yeah.
a coat.
Yeah.
Even in the wintertime.
Yeah, we never really code check. As a seasoned veteran, you just know how to save money
Just
to go
No.
more events.
You automatically stonewall your body and
Yeah.
then just run.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just go more events.
Like you think you would catch a cold, but you actually don't. Yeah.
Hey, you just suffer for a couple minutes, and then
For a few dollars.
Yeah.
or you just get a hoodie and you just stash it somewhere in the corner, which Coda is good at doing because there's so many nice little spots in Coda where you can sit. I think that's the one thing in terms of layout. Probably the next to History, it's probably the best venue with their layout. I love the History layout. The History layout's fantastic for a concert. We've all seen shows there, like in different spots. Coda's the same thing. We've seen shows from a booth. We've seen shows from the left side, the right side, the bench towards the wall on the looking at the DJ. Or sorry, on the right, looking at the DJ booth. Like you can just sit there and chill.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's like an experience for anyone, which is like fantastic. If you want a night of dancing, like if I had to take a new friend to an event, I'd obviously choose what event made sense. There's two venues I would really want to choose, and that's Coda and History. Those
Yeah.
are my two ideals, and only McCormick if.
They've been to one of these two.
And McCormick is the only one I would. Problem is McCormick does a lot more underground stuff, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
really take a newbie there. But unless it was like something that made sense, that would have been cool. But like, I would take a new friend to Coda or History as my top two, and like Coda is just great for. The only thing about Coda, I don't know if you guys remember, they stopped selling food.
I never remember.
Oh, their chicken nuggets, their nuggets at one point was godly,
really.
and they're probably from
Interesting.
Costco, like how Cabana does it. But
Costco fries, see? Costco fries.
All right. Yeah. So
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, or we hope.
That concludes this episode. If you need earplugs, we have 10% off. Zound. It's in the description. You can use our code.
it stacks onto any promo they have, so I believe their flash sale 40% off still going. So
40
you can
plus
get
10.
so 40 plus 10, 50% off on new earplugs, which are pretty good, right around Festival Corner.
I think most of us use Sound, right?
Yep.
I know Sonny use it.
And do they have other products?
No, it's just,
Just
literally they're
earplugs.
just focused on earplugs,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching.
And see you next
guys
week.
Next
Bye.
episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.